What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Cowboys News TV, where we bring you the latest updates, news, and in-depth analysis of everything happening with our Dallas Cowboys. I'm Dave, and today, we've got a jam-packed episode as we dive into the latest roster projections, intriguing battles, and the growing buzz around Trey Lance as a potential trade candidate. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, and your support means everything to us. Let's get started with the roster battles. First up, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys' 53-man roster projection ahead of the team's preseason finale. Mauricio Rodriguez from A to Z Sports recently shared his insights on who he believes will make the final cut, and let me tell you, there's a lot to unpack here. One of the most captivating battles has been the wide receiver depth chart, where we've seen some serious competition. Jalen Tolbert, Cavonte Turpin, Jalen Brooks, rookie Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Cropper, David Durden, Racey McMath, and Tyron Billy Johnson are all in the mix, fighting tooth and nail for those coveted roster spots. Cowboys Nation, who do you think will make the cut? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and let's see who's got the inside track. Now, if we shift our focus to the running back position, there's one name that's been making waves throughout the preseason, Duce Vaughn. This kid has been nothing short of electric, leading the charge with his elusive runs and standout performances in practice. Vaughn has significantly improved his chances of sticking on the final 53-man roster, and honestly, who wouldn't want a player like him in the backfield? Cowboys fans, how do you feel about Duce Vaughn's chances? Do you see him becoming a key contributor this season? Let's get a poll going in the community section. Vote and let us know if you think Vaughn should be a lock for the roster. Alright, Cowboys Nation, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Trey Lance. The Dallas Cowboys quarterback has been named a trade candidate as we approach the final roster cuts, and this speculation is really heating up. According to CBS Sports, Lance's value could be at an all-time high after his impressive performance in Week 2 of the preseason. He completed 15 of 23 passes for 151 yards, threw a touchdown, and even led the team in rushing with 34 yards and another score. But the big question is, will the Cowboys actually move him before the regular season kicks off? The Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins, and Minnesota Vikings have all been mentioned as potential landing spots for Lance. Given that he's in the final year of his rookie deal, Dallas has a big decision to make. Cowboys Nation, what do you think? Should the Cowboys trade Trey Lance, or should they hold on to him as a valuable backup, especially with Dak Prescott entering a contract year? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to vote in our poll, should Lance stay or go? Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. As we look ahead, the Cowboys will wrap up the preseason by hosting the Los Angeles Chargers on Saturday, August 24th. This game will be crucial, not just for Lance, but for everyone fighting for a spot on that final roster. The Chargers will get an up-close look at what Lance can offer, which could potentially influence any trade discussions. But beyond just Lance, this game will be another opportunity for players like Duce Vaughn and the wide receiver contenders to make their final case. Every snap counts, and you can bet that the Cowboys coaching staff will be watching closely. The wide receiver battle is one of the most fascinating storylines in Cowboys training camp this year. With the departure of veteran receivers and the arrival of new talents, the competition for the remaining roster spots has been fierce. Let's break down each of the main contenders. Jalen Tolbert, a former third-round pick, Tolbert has been under the spotlight since he joined the Cowboys. Last season, he showed flashes of brilliance, but consistency was an issue. This preseason, he's been focused on proving that he can be a reliable target for Dak Prescott. His route running has improved, and he's been working hard to build chemistry with the starting quarterback. Cavonte Turpin, known for his explosive speed and return abilities, Turpin brings a different element to the receiver group. He's not just fighting for a spot as a receiver, but also as a return specialist. His versatility could be his ticket to making the final roster, especially if the Cowboys are looking to keep their special teams dynamic. Jalen Brooks, Brooks has been one of the surprise standouts in camp. An undrafted rookie, he's been making big plays in practice and showing that he can compete with the best. His work ethic and determination have caught the coaching staff's attention, and his performance in the upcoming preseason game could be the deciding factor. Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Cropper, David Durden, Racey McMath, and Tyron Billy Johnson, these players are all fighting for a chance to make their mark. Each brings a unique skill set, whether it's size, speed, or catching ability. The final decision will likely come down to who can contribute the most, not just on offense, but also on special teams. What to watch for: in the final preseason game against the Los Angeles Chargers, keep an eye on how these receivers perform, particularly in key situations like third downs and red zone plays. The ability to execute in these scenarios will likely weigh heavily in the final roster decisions. Duce Vaughn, the underdog story. Duce Vaughn's journey to potentially making the Cowboys' final roster is nothing short of inspiring. Standing at just 5 feet 5 inches, Vaughn is one of the smallest players in the NFL, but don't let his size fool you. His agility, vision, and explosiveness have turned heads throughout training camp and the preseason. Breaking down his game, Vaughn's ability to change direction on a dime and slip through tackles makes him a nightmare for defenders. He's shown an impressive understanding of the game, quickly identifying holes in the defense and exploiting them for big gains. His size actually works to his advantage at times, as defenders struggle to locate him behind the offensive line. Impact on the roster: Vaughn's performance has raised an interesting question for the Cowboys coaching staff. Can they afford to leave him off the roster? His skill set is unique, and he could be a valuable change of pace back who adds another dimension to the Cowboys' already potent offense. Plus, his potential value on special teams can't be overlooked. His jersey sales have reportedly surged, and his highlights have been circulating widely on social media. Fans are clamoring for Vaughn to not just make the team, but to have a significant role in the offense. What's next for Vaughn? The final preseason game will be crucial for Vaughn. If he can put together another strong performance, especially against a tough Chargers defense, he could solidify his spot on the roster. It's a big moment for a player who's already overcome the odds to get this far. Trey Lance's situation is one of the most intriguing storylines as we approach the final roster cuts. When Lance joined the Cowboys, many saw it as a fresh start for the young quarterback, but the reality of the NFL means nothing is guaranteed. Lance's future with the Cowboys is uncertain, and with his recent preseason performance, teams around the league have taken notice. Lance has been solid, if not spectacular, during the preseason. His ability to lead the offense, make plays with his legs, and show poise in the pocket has been on full display. However, with Dak Prescott entrenched as the starter, Lance's opportunities may be limited. Teams like the Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins, and Minnesota Vikings are reportedly interested in acquiring him, especially given their situations at the quarterback position. Lance's age and potential make him an attractive option for teams looking to develop a young quarterback. Dallas dilemma: for the Cowboys, the decision to trade Lance or keep him as a backup is a tough one. On one hand, Lance could provide valuable depth, especially with Prescott's contract situation looming. On the other hand, trading him could bring in assets that the Cowboys could use to strengthen other areas of the team. Possible trade scenarios: if the Cowboys were to trade Lance, what could they realistically get in return? A mid-round draft pick seems like a fair value, but some teams might be willing to offer more, especially if they see Lance as a potential long-term starter. The timing of any trade will be crucial, as teams will want to get Lance into their system as soon as possible if a deal is made. The bottom line: Trey Lance's situation will be one to watch closely as we head into the final days of the preseason. Whether he stays or goes, his future in the NFL is still bright, and his story is far from over. As we approach the end of the preseason, the tension is palpable. The final roster cuts are looming, and every player knows that their performance in these last few days could make or break their NFL dreams. For the Cowboys, the decisions made now will shape the team's future, not just for this season but potentially for years to come. Key areas to watch: aside from the wide receiver and running back battles, the Cowboys also have decisions to make on the offensive line, defensive secondary, and special teams. Each of these units will be under the microscope as the coaching staff finalizes the roster. The final preseason game against the Los Angeles Chargers will be more than just a tune-up. It's a last chance for players on the bubble to prove they belong. Expect the intensity to be high as every snap could determine someone's future. What's next for Cowboys Nation? Once the final roster is set, the focus will shift to preparing for Week 1 of the regular season. The Cowboys have high expectations this year, and anything short of a deep playoff run will be seen as a disappointment. But before we get there, the roster must be finalized, and that's what makes these next few days so critical. Cowboys Nation, as we head into this crucial period, make sure you're subscribed to Cowboys News TV. We're committed to bringing you the best coverage of America's team, and we need your support to keep growing. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, join the conversation. We want to hear your thoughts on the roster battles, Trey Lance's future, and who you think will make the final 53-man roster. Comment below and engage with other Cowboys fans. This is your community, and your voice matters. Thanks for tuning in to Cowboys News TV. We'll be back with more updates, analysis, and all the latest from Cowboys Nation. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, and go Cowboys!